is that? Go away. Yeah. The aircraft approaches the skies above Tanegashima. Apparently, this aircraft model has a maximum flight range of about 1,700 kilometers. It's a propeller plane, so I thought its range would be shorter, but it was actually more than enough. I figured we'd be landing at the new Tanegashima airport, but Dad announced we were headed for the old one. We're on approach right now. I suppose it makes more sense for us to land there. But the old airport's runway hasn't been used in over 10 years. Plus, there are no guidance lights, and due to rain, the visibility is poor right now. I told him that he didn't have to push himself so far, but according to Dad, there's been no response from the new airport's control tower. Oh god, they get that too? It's possible that something happened there. The decision to land at the old airport was made with that in consideration. Well, it's not like my opinion really matters here. I should leave this one to the pros. As the plane prepares to land, we all sit down and buckle up. After Irie woke up, Akio changed seats and is now sitting next to her, holding her hand to give her some peace of mind. This poor kid. The poor kid. It's almost dawn. Tanegashima is covered in a shroud of darkness from up here, but it doesn't look like the power's out. In fact, despite it being before dawn, there are lights on out inside quite a number of houses. Misane, are you down there? We're coming for you. Outside the window, the ground is already drawing near. When landing at the old Tanegashima airport, you pass right over Nakatane-cho. I can very clearly see the lights on inside of a bunch of houses. Dad is estimating the position of the runway using only those lights. If we crashed in the middle of town, it'd be a huge disaster. No, I gotta trust him. Yeah, his dad's a badass. I believe in Dad and his skills. It's then that the frame of the plane suddenly drops. Despite wearing my seatbelt, my body floats up and I nearly hit my head on the ceiling. Yep, that sure is the roof of our school getting real close, oh. The aircraft barely scrapes by over it. Oh, that's not good. You've got to be kidding me. Is it parachute time? Hell yeah, this guy's awesome. Is now the time to be acting cool?
Oh!
Ooh, no. An immense impact comes from under my feet. The intense sound of metal scraping against pavement echoes throughout the cabin. If we overshoot the runway, there's nothing but a cliff at the end waiting for us. That's comforting. Will we stop in time? The shaking stops. Everyone's alive. The engine also stops, and the inside of the plane is blanketed in silence. Jeez, you're out of your mind, Dad. And stop trying to act cool. Why? He's so cool. This thing could very well explode at any minute. Oh, first things first. Priorities, man. You post on that account, people are gonna figure out who you are. I don't think he cares at this point. There's not the time for that. Don't worry about that nonsense. Ending soon. Let's go. You can forgive me. I'll be Hidaka-kun's legs. I have confidence in my stamina. Ow! He's the best. What? Why? Why would you say that? Why would you even put that as an option? That's the worst thing to say. Let's go. Do the real you. Balefires? I don't know what a balefire is, but he's got them up and running. Let's go. We disembark and make a dash for the hangar. Mr. Candy carries Irie on his large back. Juna is there to greet us, waving a flashlight around wildly. He leads us into the hangar. True. Speaking of Dad, he was the last to exit the plane. He's in front of it, bowing his head to the damaged frame as it rains.
Oh, 部長先輩とヤシオ先輩のなんという夫婦オーラ爆発すべき。
二人とも生命力だけはしぶといですね。
Yeah. 3 of the former Robot Club members are together in the hangar. The cast on Subaru's leg is covered in mud from the rain. Akio's expression is apologetic as she hesitantly looks at them. I give her a little push on the back, and she almost falls over. She now stands before Juna, Subaru, and Frau. Yeah, she's the reason they all came back together. She is the glue of this motley crew. Akio looks each of them in the eyes before bowing her head deeply.
みんな、ごめんね。ガンツ靴守れなかった。壊されちゃった。せっかくみんなで作ったのに、本当にごめん。うちあんなにわがまま言って東京にガンツ靴を連れてったのに。
部長、顔を上げてください。
みんなうちのことまだ部長って呼んでくれるの？もうロボ部はないんだよ。呼びたい。私は部長って呼びたい。私一度やめちゃった身だけど呼んでもいいかな。
Oh my god, already?
部長先輩、マジ部長。
Not already?
そもそも僕はロボ部を辞めた覚えはありません。だから部長のことも部長のままです。
俺もアキちゃんのことは今でも部長だと思ってるよ。
みんな、ありがとう。
She wipes the tears from her eyes.
中種ロボ部部長、瀬宮明穂、ただいま戻りました。ジャキーン。
Akio strangely poses as she makes her declaration.
では、現在の島の状況について説明します。
After moving over to the school, we spread out a map of Tanegashima and stand around it to assess the situation.
なんか作戦会議みたいだね。むしろ作戦会議そのものだろう、上皇。
Did we really need to roll out a giant map?
昨日の昼、種子島宇宙センターが武装集団に占拠されました。怪我人はゼロ。職員はほぼ全員が脱出してきて無事です。
That's a relief to hear.
ただ一人、所長さんだけが人質になっています。
お父さんが？
さらに武装集団は宇宙センター占拠と並行して フルゴーリの家を襲撃してきました。幸いこれは天王寺さんが撃退してくれたらしく、なんとか死守できたんですが。
Nisan repelled an armed group? Who is she?
クラウボを
A
襲撃
badass.
した理由は何かな。私の頭脳だと思われ、はっきり。
Well, Frau is pretty famous. She's the most notable person in the robot club.
他に僕の父さんが昨日の午後種子島沖合を飛行する多数の巨大ロボット軍団を見たと。
空飛ぶ巨大ロボの軍団。
I'm wondering if those are real. I'm assuming those are probably an illusion, right? One of those real life VR things. Please don't say you're hyped. Pretty please. Read the room.
そんなのが相手にいるのに。
Yeah, I don't think they're real.
幻かもしれないよ。
Yeah.
グランドオベリスクみたいに。
だといいけど。
Yeah, that seems a little too much to be actual. That seems like something to intimidate and spread more false information.
南種町の人たちの避難状況は？
Just incite panic.
JAXA の職員、それと南種町から逃げてきた人たちはこの学校と運動公園の体育館とに避難しています。
When we got to school, the gym lights were on and I could hear talking. I'm sure Mom and Aunt Sen and Mia are there. I should probably drop in later.
ありがとう。状況は大体分かったよ。今は他の人たちは当てにせずにうちらでできることを考えるしかない。もちろん他にも敵を止めるための手段はね、いろいろあると思う。例えば島中の大型トラックや
Her head looks really weird from this angle. I don't know why. Something about the curve in... I don't know. Like, this is fine. That angle looks odd to me, and I can't quite put my finger on why.
犠牲が出るのは前提だけど、物量で押し切ればどうにかなるかもしれない。でもそれは最後の手段。さすがに島のみんなに世界を救うために死んでこいなんて無責任なこと頼めないから。
Yeah, it's not a good... Yeah, I don't like that.
まずはうちらが先陣を切ろう。そのためのガンツクワンだもん。正義のロボは種子島にありだよ。ただ敵は本気のテロリストだから、もしかしたら死ぬかもしれない。ここで降りても誰も文句は言わないよ。みんなそれでもついてきてくれる？
Everyone nods without hesitation.
じゃあうちとカイからは敵の情報について話しとくね。このテロの首謀者は君島光。異動の中に存在するデータだけの存在なの。
I gave Akio a rundown of everything while we were on the plane coming home.
そいつは300人委員会っていう影の支配者からの指示で人類を虐殺しようとしてる。敵の数は分かんないけど、その中には
There, Akio chokes on her words for a moment. But she immediately looks around at everyone's faces. Her face tightens up.
その中にはうちのお姉ちゃん瀬宮美咲もいる。
The room is filled with gasps.
うちらの目的はそのテロリストたちを倒し虐殺計画を止めること。あきおちゃんいいの？
Akio firmly nods her head.
お姉ちゃんを止めるの絶対に。
Faced with such grim determination from Akio, nobody says anything further.
敵の目的についてはカイから説明よろしく。
敵の目的は VAB で組み立て済みのロケットを打ち上げることだよ。テロリストはその奪ったロケットにブラックホール爆弾を乗せようとしている可能性が高い。
ブラックホール爆弾？ ナンセンスにも程がありますね。やれやれ。
それを打ち上げて宇宙で爆発させ磁気圏サブストームを引き起こす。それこそがプロジェクトアトムってわけ。内容については君島レポートに書いてあった通り。詳しく知りたいならネットにいくらでも転がってるから読んでみて。それとミサ姉は大型ハグに乗ってるはず。6本足の雲型のやつ。
JAXA 職員の目撃情報と一致します。宇宙センターにも現れたらしいです。
ハグって言ってるけど従来のものとは全く別物だったりする。エグスケ社の偉い人から情報もらったから共有するね。
Actually, Sawada got in touch with me when I was on the plane. I have no clue how he got my contact info, but he sent me a bunch of top secret files from Egske. Detailed data about the Hug's weaknesses, spots likely to wear out, the works. Kaminagi goes into Sumeragi.
こいつが敵の最終防衛ラインに配置されてるっぽい。雲型の6本足はエグゾスケルトン社コンセプトモデル HUG-X02、 コードネームスメラギ、多分その2番機で、そいつとくっついてるらしいのが同じくコンセプトモデルの HUG-X01 カミナギ。
くっついてるの？
そう、雲に騎乗してるって言った方が分かりやすいかな。カミナギの全高は 5.4 メートル、ロボ1号機の大体半分くらい。
When I saw it at the expo, it went offline without separating, so I don't know what it looks like alone.
カミナギはデータだけ見るとかなり機動力が高いっぽい。走ったりもできるらしい。
走るんだ。すごいね。
ホバリングなどではなくですか？
いや、普通に走る。あと物を掴む能力が高い。指の動きを正確にフィードバックできるって資料に書いてある。
つまり武器を持ってるかもしれないってこと。
武器か。だとしても近接格闘武器に限定されるでしょう。ロボットが手に持って使うことのできる銃器は世界には存在しませんから。
特注品を作ってなければの話っしょ。
そうなるとお手上げです。特に銃器は試作1号機とは相性が悪すぎる。
雲型の方はどうなの？
雲型はミサイルを装備してる。まるで兵器みたい。
兵器そのものでしょう。軍事用として作られたコンセプトモデルですよ、こいつは。
あと2本の前足にはブレードがあるよ。そのブレードがガンツク2を壊したの。
雲型はカミナギを装着した状態で登場しないと操縦できないらしい。だから2体で1セットってこと。
雲型を破壊してもまだ中からもう1機出てくるわけですね。
高機動力のやつがね。
マトリョーシカですね。わかります。
Kinda, a little bit. No, not at all. But kind of, sort of.
それとエグスケ社の偉い人からもう一つ有意義な情報。君島公をやっつける方法を考え中だって。データだけの存在である君島公を消し去るためのコンピューターウイルスみたいな代物らしい。
An anti-Kokimijima virus, you could say. With that, it should be possible to get him to stop possessing Misane. We'll be able to return her to her senses. But Akio doesn't look happy. Even if Misane returned to her senses, it wouldn't change the fact that she stained her hands with terrorism. But even still...
君島公の呪縛からミサネを解き放てれば。
Yeah, nothing can change that at this point. Yeah.
当然、ミサネが乗るスメラギとカミナギもね。
She's gonna have to live with what she's done regardless, but we just need to stop her.
それがあれば戦わなくてもいいんだよね。だったらウイルスができるのを待ってから会いに行けばいいんじゃないかな。
問題は間に合うかどうかが微妙ってことかな。今から積み荷を乗せ替えるとして、今日は一日雨だから打ち上げは明日になるはず。
天気予報だと明日は晴れだね。
It's possible the anti-Kokimijima virus won't be completed until after that.
こっちがクリアしておくべき最低条件
Can't
が
afford to waste any
いくつか見
time.
えてきました。一つ目、スメラギを破壊するための武装。二つ目、雷の動きに対応するための機動力。機動力については敵の攻撃に耐えられるだけの防御力があれば代用はできなくもないですが、
1号機くんってすごく動き遅かったよね。
絶望的なまでに。ですが防御力はもっと絶望的です。
紙装甲だよね。紙みたいにペラペラってこと。
側を今から強化したところで大したものは用意できないでしょう。使い捨ての盾をたくさん用意した方がまだマシかもしれません。
でもガンツクワンって腕は使い物にならないよ。
Yeah,
そ
those
こを
arms
考
are
え
little
ないとです
stumps.
ね。今からまともな腕の機構を作っている余裕はありません。
Can't even throw a punch.
防御力重視にした場合、雷の機動力にはどう対処する？
M45 の戦い方はどうかな。いくら向こうに機動力があっても、攻撃を仕掛ける時には必ず接近して一旦動きを止めなくちゃいけないわけでしょ。
It's actually a really good idea.
だからこっちは基本的に動かずに守りを固めるので、カウンター狙い。それは難しいんじゃないかな。
Oh yeah, and didn't Doc say he was working on like bigger pile bunkers for actual giant robots?
向こうはロケットが打ち上がるまで時間稼ぎさえすればいいわけでしょ。つまり向こうが守る側でこっちが攻める側なんだよ。
That's also a good point.
こっちもカウンター
They wouldn't really have any reason to engage
互い
us.
に睨み合ったまま時間だけ過ぎちゃう気が。あ、そっか。
純ちゃんの言う通り、こっちから攻めて倒す必要があるね。
そうなるとますます機動力の強化が必須ですね。
スバル、ガンツクワンの状況は？
すでに改良には着手しています。
早っ。
部長の演説を聞いてその意図は大体分かりましたから。
もしかしてあれ聞いてたんだ。
バッチリと。これまでに足のモーターを2機モノポールモーターに換装しました。
As far as I remember, Doc supplied us with 6 monopole motors as spares for Model 2, or for use with Model 1.
うちの先見の明ってやつだね。なんか言ってよ。
はいはい、ワロスワロス。
旧型モーターとモノポールモーターはサイズが全く同じなので換装は楽です。今の人数ならあと6時間もかからないはずですよ。モノポールモーターにするだけでも試作1号機の歩行スピードは劇的に向上するはずです。
それでもまだ十分遅いがな。
じゃあガンツクワンの改良方針について具体的に詰めていこう。
時間もないのでゼロからきっちり検討するのは難しいですね。2号機でのノウハウをなるべく生かす方向に持っていった方がいいかもしれません。機動力重視ということであれば脚部の強化と軽量化は必須です。この際ボディの防御力は捨てるしかありません。
もともとペラペラだったわけだし、それでいいと思う。
脚部の強化はモノポールモーター以外だと2号機の時にやった CFRP のシート、強度を上げるためにあれをまた使うのがいいでしょう。
内蔵エンジンは捨てるべきだね。あれでかなり重量取ってる。
Plus, it's loud as hell. Subaru nods at my suggestion.
内蔵エンジンは外して 2号機と同じようにレーザ光送電システムを組み込みます。
予備あるの？
あるぜ。
Doc enters the classroom with perfect timing. Also, I like to think that he brought his own little boombox that's booming the rock music.
おじいちゃん。
お前らがここだって聞いてな。
ドク、本当にレーザー光送電装置って予備あるの
1号機の改良に使えると思ってな。念のために仕入れといたんだよ。
すごい、さすがドク。
そんなんで本当に利益得られてるの？
利益なんざどうでもいいんだよ。
Yeah, at this point, he'd have
気
to
に
be
入ったものは仕入れる。
pretty awful
気に入らねえ
for
ものは
to
仕
be
入れ
like,
ねえ。
hand over the cash,
それだ
though.
けさ。
ロックだ。
そんなわけでパーツ代は後払いでいい。
結局払わされるの？
But I will take a rain
じ
check.
ゃないじゃん。
俺が作ったレーザー銃座は東京には持っていかなかったろ。そのまま流用できる。
True.
バッテリーも小さいものに換装すればかなり軽くなると思います。
レーザー銃座について質問。あれ、武器として使っちゃダメなん？
I mean, if we want to become murderers, I suppose.
武器？
常時照射できるようにして。
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're fighting terrorists, though.
渡せれば。
That doesn't seem like a good idea.
それでレーザー銃爆弾じゃね？人殺せる威力って話だし。
Sounds like
殺すなんて発想はやめてくれない？
私のママだって多分だけど殺されましたが何か50億人殺そうとしてる相手なら最悪殺すのもやむを得ないと思われ。
She's right. I'd be making a big mistake if I went easy on Misane.
うちらは人殺しじゃない。
Yeah.
できるだけ殺さないでなんとかなるような方法を取りたい。相手がお姉ちゃんだからっていう身内びいきはもちろんあるよ。そこは多めに見てほしい。ごめんね。で、殺すしか手段がないってなった時は。
Akio raises her head.
その時はうちがお姉ちゃんを。
いや、パイロットは俺だし。
Without a moment's delay, I cut in.
そんな状況になった時は俺が何とかするよ。
はい。
さあ部長先輩をいじめてるわけじゃなくて、それくらいの覚悟必要なんじゃないかって思っただけ。
It's a fair point to bring up, but yeah,
うちまだ甘かったかも。
let's not melt people's organs, you know.
いずれにせよあの送電銃じゃ出力が足りねえよ。ロボの走行を貫通させる気なら長時間同じ場所に当て続けるしかねえな。溶接用のレーザーよりも威力は弱いだろうよ。人を殺したいなら人体に直接当てるんだな。そしたら焼き殺せるさ。
Ugh. I don't think I want to do that. Burning Misane to death with a laser? I know now's not the time to be picky and all, but yeah, that don't feel good.
爆弾とかそういうのを用意してこっそりあのロケットに仕掛けてくるってどうかな。そうしたら相手のロボットさんとは戦わなくて済むんじゃ。
それはナンセンスですね。
Wow.
あのロケットにはブラックホール爆弾が積んであるかもしれな
Yeah,
いでし
it's not a good
ょ。
idea.
もしそれが誤って地上で爆発しようものなら種子島が地上から消滅するかもしれません。
そんな危険なんだ。ごめん。
I didn't think of that either. That's not a
やっ
good
ぱり
idea.
この状況を止めるのはガンツクワンを置いて他にないってことだよ。
でも例の部長の演説は 聞いていてたまらずうめいてしまいましたよ。正義のロボットとか悪のロボットとか、そういう極端な価値観でしか語れなかったのはいかにも部長らしかったです。完全懲悪なんてものをこの状況で持ち出すのは、それこそアニメの見過ぎですよ。
Oh, come on. You know it hyped you up.
つまりうちらが絶対勝つ。
強引すぎる二段論法ですね。そんなシンプルな形で世界が回っていればもっと平和だったでしょう。
スーパール、いちいち上から目線にならないで。まあまあ、あきほちゃん落ち着いて。
本題に戻りましょう。武装の話は置いておいて、改良の話について。
Subaru has completely taken over. Despite calling her president earlier, he's the one who most looks like the president, especially to an outsider.
合成はどうする？胴体が空洞だぜ。歩行スピードが速くなるともげるかもしれね
車みたいに黒森鋼で補強しましょうか。
時間を考えるとそれが妥当なとこか。車用のものならすぐ手に入るしな。
コックピットはどうします？遠隔操縦式にしますか？
Everyone looks at me. I guess they've all acknowledged me as the pilot, eh? Well, I figured that'd be the case.
コックピットはそのままで。ワイヤレスな遠隔操縦だと遅延が発生するからね。ほんの数フレだけど俺にとっては致命的な問題だ。しかも相手は現在の全一。機体性能は向こうの方が圧倒的に上。あっちは飛び道具だって持ってる。だからネガティブ要素は一つでも捨てておきたい。
乗ったらヤシオ先輩が一番死ぬ可能性が高くなるわけだが、いいの？
敵の攻撃を食らった時だけでなく、戦闘中に転倒でもしようものなら、それだけできっと死ねますよ。
やるしかないでしょ。それくらいの覚悟がないとね。
かかってるのは50億人の命だもんね。
いや違うよ。それは関係ない。
No, this is a grudge match for
ち
him.
っとも実感湧かないし。
じゃあ
そこまでしなきゃ全一には勝てないからだよ。
My opponent is Misaki Senamiya. She's the wall that always stood before me, my goal.
でコナちゃん、キルバラシステムは搭載できる
2号機用に作ったのしかないから、これから調整するわ。姿勢制御システムとかもまんま流用はできないっぽ。
でも姿勢制御は必要だよ。できるだけ2号機のを流用しよう。
レーザースキャンでの周辺地形解析と行動予測ナビゲーション、そのあたりもシステムの流用でなんとかなるはずです。
パーツは店から持ってこよう。これも後払いでいい。
最悪システムは歩かせながらアップデートしていくしかないんじゃね？
移動と連動させた3次元マッピングって使ってたよね。あれは外したいんだけど。
だね。
Kokimijima is the man who created it, and we're off to go fight him. We can't trust it.
あとは腕をどうするかですね。今のところただの飾りでしかないので外しますか？
偉い人には分からんのです。偉い人？じゃあまだまだ勉強不足だね。外していいよ。今回は見た目にこだわってる場合じゃないし。
いつもこれくらい合理的に考えてくれれば僕としてもありがたかったんですが。
何を？
落ち着いてアキちゃん。
腕には俺が趣味で作った例のあれをつけるってのはどうだ？
おじいちゃん。
Oh yeah, the foul
何か持っ
bunkers.
てきたの？例のあれってまさか。
ァイルバンカだ。
そしてこのドヤ顔である。
最終調整はしてねえが一応完成はしてる。至近距離でぶち込みゃ装甲をぶっ壊すくらいはできるはずだ。対機構戦には有効じゃねえか。
ファイルバンカーを腕の代わりに装着ですか。左右のバランスが崩れて機体が傾くかも。もし取り付けるつもりなら反対側にカウンターウェイトが必要かと。
ファイルバンカは2つある。
そしてまたもこのドヤ顔である。
2つも作っちゃったんだ。
1つはまだ未完成だがな。8割方はできてる。
両腕をパイルバンカーに。
Talks the best.
さっきスバルが言ってた使い捨ての盾を用意する案は。
守りに入るぐらいなら攻めに特化した方がいいと思うけど。
だがミサイルを防ぐ方法なんてそうそうねえぞ。
茶風 ECM フレアリアクティブアーマー。
ドク、どれか用意は。
What is chaff? I don't know what chaff is. An ECM. Countermeasure used to disrupt radar. Also used to evade radar-guided missiles. Shoots a lot of tiny electric wave reflectors to mislead radar. Main electric wave reflectors are tinfoil, aluminum foil, and glass fiber. Neat. What is this? Electronic countermeasure. Oh, okay. Jamming device. Neat.
できるわけねえだろうが。いくらすると思ってんだ。
だよね。
機体性能差は絶望的だね。
なんとか勝てる方法を考えよう。
その方法が浮かばなかったら。
浮かばなかったらそれは。
戦うのを諦める。目の前でロケットが打ち上がるの見てる。
そんなこと。
Come on, Kaito.
できないよね。決めてよアキちゃん。勝てる見込みがなくても VAB からロケットが移動を開始したら即座に1号機を出して勝負を挑むって。
ヤシオ先輩が無駄死にするだけです。僕はその考え方は反対です。
I mean, if the thing goes up, probably screwed anyways. So, yeah.
わかった。
It's not so much throwing your life away as it is throwing your life at the problem and hoping it works.
勝てる見込みがなくても時間が来たら出撃する。でもだからって回を無駄死にさせたりしない。ギリギリまで勝つ方法を模索していく。絶対にだよ。
Akio looks me straight in the eyes and makes her declaration. I force out a smile and nod. That's a satisfying answer.
みんな改めてお願い。みんなの力を貸して。正義のロボはきっと勝つの。そのために勝つ方法を教えてほしい。よろしくね。
Everyone present nods, and the strategy meeting comes to an end. Due to his leg injury, Subaru can't participate in the assembly work. Instead, he's working on improving Model 1. Frau is on programming duty, so she can't help either. Which means there are only 4 people on the motor exchange team. Me, Akiho, Juna, and Doc. Wait, that reminds me. Where did Dad and the Nagafukatas get off to? We could really use their help right about now. I gaze out the window. It's starting to get bright out. It's still raining, and the sky is concealed by clouds. But dawn is approaching. Dawn waits for no one. Things we can do. Things that only we can do. That's what we're doing. It's not over yet! Victory will be ours. Even after dawn, the rain shows no signs of letting up. I know that it's saving our butts, but it also forces us to work in this cramped hangar.
おらいおらい。
We support the servo motor hanging from the crane and it carefully inserted into Model 1's joint. Unfortunately, things don't go so well as we're forced to have the crane come and go over and over again. The servo motor finally settles in the right position, and we have to act fast to secure it. We use several thick bolts and electrical nut runners. Model 1's legs are thick. The joints require multiple large screws, bolts. That's what connects it all together. To exchange a motor, the bolts need to be removed first, followed by all the leg parts. Specifically, everything below the ankles, the shins, the thighs, 6 parts in total across both legs. Each part is nearly 2 meters tall while lying down, and over 3 meters long. They're secured to the crane attached to the truck Doc came riding over in. The crane then lifts up the boltless parts. The motors are also pretty big, way bigger than the engine inside a car. We have to be careful about our work, but we also can't waste too much time. With that in mind, having a crane makes a huge difference. We can never get this done on our own. That said, of the people here, Juna and I aren't particularly useful, which is why things have been slow. It's also frustrating that no other work can be done until the motor exchange is complete. This is the first time I've actually regretted not helping out earlier. If I'm the one piloting this thing, I should be the one making sure it's in tip-top shape. I'm trusting this thing with my life, after all. I can't win without it. Up until now, I always thought all I needed were my hands, but now I know better. If I'm gonna be the best, it's important that I pay attention to maintenance.
クレーンがもう1台あればいいのに。
Juna and I single-mindedly tighten the screws. It kind of feels like we're the pit crew in a race.
これでいくつ終わった？ 5つ。残り1つだよ。頑張ろう。
It already took over 5 hours to get this far. Just like Subaru said, I guess this will take 6 full hours. And we're not done after that. There's still lots of work remaining. I pulled an all-nighter, so this is going to be pretty rough. I might not be in the best condition for tomorrow's... Akio's foot gets caught on a cord. She falls over, taking the parts and metal plates in the area with her. Uh-oh.
アキちゃん、大丈夫？
平気。
たるんでんじゃねえ。気合い入れろ。
ごめんなさい。
Wow, it's been a while since I've seen Doc spit hot fire.
アキちゃん、疲れてるんじゃない？寝てないでしょ。あんまり無理するとまた発作が出るから休んだ方がいいよ。
それはカイだって同じでしょ。休んでなんかいられないよ。うちらがやらなくちゃ誰がやるっていうの？
でも。
Yeah, it'd be hard to rest at a time like this.
これは一体どういうことですか？
Oh my god, really? Her? Now? I jump a little. I know that hysterical voice.
あなたたち一体何をやっているのです？
We're saving the world, lady! Why did she decide to come to the hangar? This is literally the last thing we need right now.
ロボ部は廃部、そう言ったはずです。
Go away!
教頭先生。今は緊急事態で。
True?
緊急だろうとなんだろうと、ここを使うの
Oh, you
なら、
suck.
まず私に声をかけるのが筋というものでしょう。
教頭先生。今日1日だけ見逃してください。細かい話は後で全部説明しますから。
いいえ、ダメです。見逃すなど論外ですわ。
このわからず屋の石頭め。
She pays no mind to my language and instead takes out her phone droid. She starts fiddling with it.
あなたたち全員、今すぐここにサインなさい。
She then thrusts her phone droid toward Akiho.
でなければ退学処分にしますからね。卒業まで数日だろうと関係ありませんよ。
勘弁してよ、教頭先生。あんたにそこまでやる権限なんてないって。 俺たちはあんたなんかには従わない。
Ma'am, there is a bomb on a rocket only a few miles from here.
もう
Priorities.
学校がどうこうって問題じゃないんだ。なんか言ったらどうなの？済ましてないでさ。
待ってカイ。
Akio stops me as she looks at the VP's phone droid.
教
Something else?
頭先生、これってどういうこと？入部届ってなってますけど。
は？
Say what?
あなたたちは今どの部活にも所属していないでしょ。先月ロボ部は私が廃部にしましたからね。ですからロボ部をもう一度復活させるために全員入部届を書きなさいと言っているのです。
Oh my
この非
god.
常時であっても手続きはきっちりしなければなりません。何かあったとき、これはあなた方の責任ではなく、それを許可した学校の責任であると言えなくなってしまいますから。
教頭先生。
Alright, she got me. Wait, what's going on? Are my ears busted? Myself, Akio, Juna, and Subaru are all stunned.
教頭先生マジツンデレ。
Oh my god.
いいからさっさと名前と学年、クラスを書きなさい。全員分ですからね。
この教頭、実はいい人だったのか。
ヤシオくん、何か言いましたか？
Not a word.
あ、いいえ。
Ridiculous. She gives me a sharp glare. She really is scary.
教頭先生、お待たせしました。
There he is. I knew Michi had something to do with this. Michi suddenly comes running over. Where's our delinquent teacher been all this time? Wait, it's not just him. Our homeroom teacher, Koba-sen, and the other teachers, and even the principal all pop up, one after the other. They're all holding supermarket bags in their hands. Everybody came together to help out. They're all filled with drinks, flavored breads, rice balls, and more.
長深田先生、一体どこまで買い出しに行っていたんですか？
いや、西の表島で開店時間前に開けてもらうの大変だったんですから。
いいから生徒たちに配りなさい。
それって何？毒でも入ってるの？
何を言っているんですか。どこからどう見ても差し入れに決まっているでしょう。
Why does she have to keep getting so angry? The teachers lay out a blue sheet in the corner of the hangar and start lining up the refreshments they bought.
多いな。
まさかその
Alright,
皆
it's
さん
official. Michi is the
ロボ部の
best.
部員だけで独り占めするつもりだったのですか？
You're good on me. Good with me. I don't know.
違うんですか？
当たり前です。これは志願した生徒たち全員の分なんですよ。
志願って
特別課外授業ってやつだ。これ豆知識な。
Awfully noisy outside the hangar. I hear lots of voices growing closer. Our teachers aren't the only ones who've come. That's great. Outside of the hangar are nearly 100 students in raincoats.
おーい、ジュンだ。
That the guy, right? The top row, third in from the right. He's my favorite. And the hair pompadour kid on the left is pretty cool too. It's great.
手伝いに来たよ。
Juna's friends.
ああ、手伝うのだるいな。でも手伝わないと世界滅びるらしいぜ。
じゃしょうがないか。ロボ部も頑張ってるし俺らもやるしかないよな。
Great. All of my classmates who made fun of the robot club. The kid in the bottom row on the left, or the right, on the right. I like, he's funny too, he's got a funny face. Even some schoolgirls with impure motives. There's so many people, over half of the school must be here.
彼らは自主的にあなた方を手伝いたいと志願した生徒たちです。彼らは彼らなりに今この島で起きていることを受け止め、自分にできることが何かを考えたのでしょう。
That's cool.
ですから瀬宮さん、中央種子島高校の全教員と志願した有志の生徒は皆ロボ部部長のあなたの指示に従いますわ。
Several large trucks come driving into the airport. What now?
もうあいつらやっと来やがったか。
Is it the other, like, tech shops? Is it Kamada Motors and the other one? Doc looks at the trucks, unsurprised.
島中の町工場の連中に号令かけて
Yeah. Awesome.
蒲田やら港やら片っ端にな。それぞれパーツかき集めて集合するよう言っといた。
秋穂ちゃん手伝うぜ。種子島の機関屋が集まりゃもう怖いものなしだからな。
Familiar guys from the local workshops poke their heads out from the trucks, waving enthusiastically at us. This is wonderful. Old Man Kamada was the only guy who ever cooperated with us. The other workshops always kept their distance. And here they all are now.
毒がどれだけ恐れられてるのかちょっと分かった気がするよ。
うるせえよ。だがクレーンはこれで大型小型合わせて5台になった。もう愚痴は言わせねえぞ秋穂。
Hey, called her by name again.
待て待て待て。
Of course. Him and his gun-stealing bird. Mr. Candy appears at the head of the bunch of buff dudes. They come marching in like some kind of mini parade.
西の表の若い連中も連れてきたぞ。あと我が社の社員もの。
God, he's so loud. Hey! Following after them are a bunch of JAXA employees in their work uniforms. Naisan is in the front. Behind her is Harunaka-san, who helped us assemble Model 2. Young and old JAXA engineers run over with them.
職員の皆さんすごく燃えてるんですよ。俺たちの職場である TNSC を占拠するなんて許せない。所長を助けるぞって。だから私たちにも手伝わせてください。
Getting help from JAXA engineers would be huge for us, but it's not just them. There are elderly who usually work in the fields, housewives, blue-collar men, and even loud children here in the rain. It's Mom. Dad is standing next to her.
母さん無事だったんだね。
そうなの。瀬宮さんとこの玉木さんと一緒にね、避難してきたのよ。これからみんなで炊き出ししてあげるから頑張んなさい。
Mom then disappears into the crowd. Dad silently salutes me and follows after her.
父さん。
Subaru's hysterical shout causes me to turn around. The very same man who punched his own son last summer is standing near Subaru, a sullen look on his face.
無理するなと言ったはずだ。二度とまともに歩けないようになったらどうするつもりだ。
ごめん。
お前はもう一歩も動くな。代わりに俺がお前の足になって動いてやる。
父 父さんも手伝ってくれるの？
お前が好きだと言ったものがどれほどのものかこの目で確かめたくなっただけだ。
ありがとう。
I never thought his dad would back down. But it's not just Subaru's old man. The VP, too. This is more than a little shocking.
ねえカイ、島が一つになってる。こんなにたくさんの人たちがロボ部のために、島のために手伝ってくれてる。今まで仲が悪かった人たちも良かった人たちも家族も一度も会ったことのない人たちも、みんなが一つの目標に向かってこうして集まってる。
Akio looks like she could start crying at any moment, so I give her a pat on the shoulder.
どうやら俺たち島中の希望になっちゃったみたいだよね。その期待を裏切らないようにしないと。
これなら種子島はあと10年は戦える。
いや、そんなに長く戦わなくていいから。
Either way, this final battle is one that we can't afford to lose, no matter what. Oh boy. The rain and strong sea breeze collide with my cheeks. There's no point in trying to wipe off the moisture, so I just let it build. The wind is always strong on Tanegashima during winter. The air temperature doesn't drop much, but thanks to the wind, it feels quite cold, especially on the coast. It feels really nostalgic. The scent of the winter wind, that is. I stand by the railing at the edge of the cliff and throw a bouquet of white carnations down in the water below. It doesn't quite fly in the arc I expected due to the strong winds, but it nonetheless falls in the ocean. I chose white carnations for that reason alone. Mizuka Ire was the only person I could ever call a true friend. This is the place. This is where she died. That's what Michi said when he contacted me. If possible, I wanted to attend Mizu's funeral, but I couldn't. Too busy planning terrorism and genocide. That's why. To me, losing Mizu hurts more than I can express in words. You would have stopped me, or at least that's how I always felt. But maybe that's the reason you died. I suddenly feel a presence behind me. A chill runs down my neck. Right behind me. At a distance close enough to touch me, I can feel their presence. But I know full well that even if I turn around, nobody will be there. Even so, I know that he's there.
どうやら君のまいた種は立派に成長したらしい。少し、いや、かなり目障りになってきたよ。
I'm certain that I'm the only one who can hear his voice. Is he actually talking, or is this all just an illusion in my head? Am I truly acting of my own will, or am I dancing to his song and being kept alive through his will? I stopped caring a long time ago. But I know one thing for certain. I've been bound by the curse of the man speaking.
君がそれを望んだのか。
私10年近くも前にこうなることを予想して未来予知ができるなら今頃私はこんなところであなたと話していなかったの。そんなに彼らが気に食わないなら空飛ぶロボット大軍団で攻撃を仕掛けたらどう？どうせできないでしょうけどね。あれは所詮幻だよ。
He likes to toy with his prey. He has that kind of vicious streak in him.
ではゲジネを使うとしよう。あれなら一個小体程度の働きはしてくれるからね。
やればいい。
I then pull a knife out from my breast pocket. I quickly try to thrust it into my own neck, but my hands stop. I can't help but click my tongue. Failed to kill myself yet again. These are my hands, but they feel foreign to me. My body doesn't answer to me. It's not moving. It's not mine. Even though it's right here, I can see that it's attached to me. But it's like it's just an illusion.
君もしつこい女だ。無駄だと言っているのにね。君には最後まで働いてもらわなければならないんだ。古郡南のようになってもらっては困るよ。
そうやって何人の人間に取り付いて呪い殺してきたの。
そうさせた元凶は君だよ。あの時君が僕を殺さなければ。
My hands, still gripping the knife, rise up on their own. I then gently throw the knife off the cliff. I gaze out at it. Why was I holding a knife? I'm not even sure why I just threw it away. It's like my memory is broken. I've felt this numerous times before, this feeling like I've lost something important. And every time I feel like crying, but I don't know why, I ultimately shed no tears. I don't feel his presence anymore. I gently close my eyes. The cold sensation of the wind hitting my body, this familiar scent. I wanted to experience it all as Misaki Senomiya, just for a little longer. The sound causes me to open my eyes in surprise.
瀬宮美咲。最新情報によれば、現在種子島、屋久島地方で降っている雨はあと2時間ほどで上がりそうです。明日の降水確率は 10% で変わりません。
I recall how Irie always loved weather reports. But how did Gejine feel about them?
なぜ急にそっちから声をかけてきたの？もしかして慰めてくれているのかしら？
そのような意図はありません。
思えば皆既日食の日にあなたと出会ったのが全ての始まりだったのね。
That was already over 10 years ago. I just happened to find a smartphone, still new and kind of janky at the time, during the commotion of the eclipse. Inside of it was Irie's prototype, still in development. After several days of talking to Irie and becoming friends, she told me that she had a master. It made sense that the phone I found had an original owner, and since they're so expensive, I felt I had to give it back. Following Irie's instructions, I found myself at Code Kimijima's house in the woods. At the time, I had no idea that a year later, I would end up killing Code Kimijima with my own hands. I was desperate. I didn't want Aki or Kai to die. I wanted to protect them. My cute little sister who always happily followed me, the rascal of a young boy who lived near me. I loved every minute I spent together with them. The time I spent watching robot anime with Aki. The time I spent playing fighting games with Kai. I truly loved every second of it. I couldn't bear the thought of losing those kids, but of all things, they just had to be aboard the MFN enemy. Aki and Kai were the only ones left unconscious for multiple days following the incident. I couldn't sleep for even a second, so I just kept holding Aki's hand as tightly as I could. Please, God, don't let them die. Please let me see their smiles again. I don't care what happens to me as long as you grant my wish. I'm fairly certain that's all I prayed for during those long days.
よかったよかった。
So when Aki woke up, gripped my hand and smiled happily at me, I honestly thought I'd be okay with dying. I had done something irreversible. I had killed a man. The police were going to arrest me, but I had no regrets. But a week later, when I returned to Kokimijima's house, there was no corpse. I knew for a fact that I had murdered him and left the body there. There were even bloodstains all over. But the corpse itself had vanished. 10 days later, it was located in a completely unrelated place. Unless somebody intentionally moved the body, that should have been impossible. It made the news, but even as time passed, the police never came for me. That's when I started to think, Perhaps the case would be left unsolved. Maybe the culprit would never be brought to light. Or maybe the person who moved Kokimijima's corpse would be charged with the crime in my place. Hey, Aki, Kai. I'm not a prodigy. I'm not a genius. I'm not a perfect person. I'm a weak coward who actually thought I might get away with without atoning for my crimes. It was Kokimijima who saw that weakness in my heart and dove in. A month after everything happened, he appeared before me. At first, I thought I was just hearing things. But he appeared everywhere. He continuously and repeatedly whispered in my ears about what I did to him, over and over again. Literally all day long, from morning until night, then again the next morning. It wasn't long before I stopped being able to sleep. I quickly started going crazy. In retrospect, I was probably already under his curse at that point. When the Robot Association got promoted to a club, I put distance between myself and the thing I started. I couldn't get involved with it. I didn't deserve to be affiliated with something built on hopes and dreams. I also distanced myself from Aki and Kai. After saving their lives, I felt I couldn't get them involved. I wasn't even able to consult my best friend, Mizu. I tried turning myself into the police, but nobody would believe me. They all thought it was some joke and laughed at me. During my second and third years of high school, I distanced myself from everyone around me. I became a loner. I'm sure that probably strengthened Kokimijima's curse. And now, half of me is him. Personality and sense of self known as Misaki Sennomiya is on the verge of vanishing. As I recall the past, I'm not even sure I'm her. This could be Kokimijima's personality thinking back on Misaki Sennomiya's memories. It may not look like I'm acting according to my own will, but Kokimijima's will is always involved, no matter what. It may look... Read. Every time I planned to kill myself, he would stop me. And now here I am. No, I don't regret murdering him in order to save Aki and Kai. I have no idea if that event really happened, or if my memories are true, but I regret nothing. That's why I at least wanted them to deliver me from all this. Genji ne.
二人のことは好き？嫌い？
そのような判断をする機能はゲジネーには備わっていません。
Yeah, that sounds about right. Gejine was always cold like that.
そんなあなたを解放してあげるわ。
Before I lose myself, I need to at least do this much. I take out my phone droid. Kimijima report number 0? An icon representing the original data is displayed on my screen. I was the one who planted the Kimijima reports around the island. It was back when I was in high school. I even came up with the triggers, just as Kokimijima instructed. One of the things he had planted inside of me. What you could call the origin of all this. Right now, I choose to throw it away.
ゲジネ、あなたはあの二人のところへ。もうここにはいなくていい。あなたは自由よ。のっちよ、ゲジネ。
Without hesitation, I remove the icon. Once I confirm the data is gone, I breathe a sigh of relief. Gejine will never appear before me again. I wonder if you'll be able to kill me? I sure hope so. Oh, boy, I didn't feel that bad for her before. Now I feel significantly more bad for her. The rain has stopped. But the sky is still unstable. The sun isn't out either. We're okay, right? They can't launch the rocket yet, right? I look up at the sky with unease. Some volunteers are risking life and limb to infiltrate and monitor the Osaki launch complex. All we can do now is wait for their report. I've been discharged from assembly work. Thanks to all the people helping, Akio and Subaru ordered me to rest. They want me rested up and in top condition for the decisive battle tomorrow. And so I opted to take them up on their offer. Or at least that was the plan. But there's something else I need to do.
いいですか？ここは一応敵の勢力圏内ですから。
But first... But why?
長いは無用です。
分かってる。
I get out of the car and reply. I asked Naisan to drive me over to the old local hall in Uchigoka Park. On a clear day, you can see the VAB from here. The current mist is making that impossible. Is Misane over there? Is the black hole bomb capable of killing 5 billion people also there? I forcibly tear my gaze away. Right now, Minamitane-cho is effectively a ghost town. As of this morning, about 80% of Nakatane-cho has been evacuated. The rest are moving out under police instruction. It was never a town with that many people. Still, not seeing a single car on the way to town, on the way to the town office in the center of the city was chilling. A lot of thus. I can't take my time. When I open the backseat door, Irie gets out.
大丈夫?
Yeah, how's she doing? Like, this poor girl's been through so much. When I asked Naisan to take me here, Irie spoke up. She said she wanted to take a look at the island for the first time in 10 years. Considering she had to be put into cold sleep, I had assumed she was super ill. She honestly looks fine. To be honest, there's also something I want her to do, which is why I agreed to take her here despite the danger. Fortunately, we have Naisan with us. According to Frau, she's apparently ridiculously strong.
10年ぶりの島はどう?
はい。懐かしいけど、結構寂しいです。私の知っている人は誰もいなくなってしまいましたから。そうは言っても、母と君島さんくらいだったんですけど。
A decade is much longer than it seems. For example, it's possible that friends from kindergarten or elementary school are still around. But for Irie, whose time was stopped for 10 years, they'd have aged an entire decade. They would be different people.
俺ちょっと中を見てくるから、ナイさん、ID さんのことよろしく。
I walk off on my own. The room at the far end of the first floor, the one with an electronic lock. The device inside the room is what I'm here for. The door is locked. It won't open unless you input the password. Irie's the one who taught it to me. Or was it Gejine?
Hidden hand.
Surprised, I turn around to find Irie and Naisan standing in the darkness.
ついてきちゃったの?
ごめんなさい。だってほら、外にいると寒いですし。
アイリさん、なんで今のパスワード知ってるわけ?
ふっと頭の中に浮かんできました。そんな言葉、今まで一度も聞いたことないのに。
Irie seems to be at a loss. She doesn't understand why she knows the password. Could Gejine be around here somewhere? Last week when I departed for Tokyo, I know she was still operating properly. But for some reason, she stopped showing up on my phone droid. It'd be really helpful if she popped up right about now. There's something I wanted to ask her. In fact, I was hoping to fish out Gejine by bringing Irie here. Well, whatever. I need to keep my priorities straight. The inside of the room is unchanged from the last time I came. The electromagnetic wave irradiation device that causes monopoles to fall from the sky. It's still working. Which means monopoles are still falling on Uchigoka Park.
それは
電磁波照射装置だよ。
電磁波。これでモノポールを降らせていたんですね。教えてくれてもよかったのに。
万博が終わるまでは騒ぎになりたくなかったんだよ。
I leave the women alone for a moment and stand in front of the device. It uses a large antenna outside to beam EM waves into space. I think that's how Gejine explained it before. but I didn't really examine it in detail last time. I had no idea how to handle or operate it.
それ単体では役に立たない。スロットに専用のカートリッジを挿さなければ動かないだろう。
Curious about what Sawada told me, I decided to come here. I figured there might be a cartridge-like thing somewhere on the machine. Anyhow, I begin casually tapping away at icons on the display screen. It goes without saying, but I have zero luck, so I give up on controlling the device via its screen.
何をしてるんですか？
ちょっと探し物をね。
There's nothing like a window or anything below the display, which means I can't see inside. Am I gonna have to take this thing apart in order to figure out what he meant by a cartridge? Then, in the darkness, I find what seems to be a button under the device. Just as I'm about to push it.
待ってください。
For some reason, Irie stops me.
装置の電源を切った方がいいと思います。
Okay.
どういうこと？
Otherwise, it will explode.
なんとなくそう思っただけで。
But she's right. It's common sense to cut the power before taking something apart. I follow Irie's advice and opt to do so. However, there's no explanation for any of the buttons on the display, so I have no idea what to push.
どれだ？
これ。
And just like that, Irie is next to me. She reaches her white, slender hand out and touches my hand. I can feel her warmth through my skin.
実体がある。ああ、いや、こっちの話。
I smile and leave the display to Irie.
アイリちゃん、わかるんですか？電源を切るにはこのボタンを押してサブ画面を出してからこっちの大きなボタンを10秒間押し続ければ。
Irie follows her own instructions. The light then vanishes from the device's display. The constant humming noises stop, and the room is blanketed in silence. I guess the power's off.
あまりに自然にやってたね、今。
I glance at Nison, and she nods her head in agreement. It looked to me like Irie knew exactly what she was doing with that device. No hesitation whatsoever. She did her thing without even thinking about it. These are the actions of someone who has been around the block tens of times, not an amateur. Is this really the Irie who was asleep for 10 years? Or is she actually AR Irie? Hell, this could be a trap set by Koki Mijima. But wait, she literally just touched my hand a moment ago. I felt her warmth. There's no way that she's AR Irie.
わかりません。
Yeah, she's kind of had a psychomaniac inside her head. Maybe give her a break.
私、今どうして？
Irie seems surprised at herself. Meh, I can ask her about it later. I have Irie move out of the way and try pressing the button at the bottom of the device. When I do, a tray comes slowly sliding out. It's hard to see in the darkness, but it's actually less of a tray and more of a circuit board. It's a little bigger than a phone droid. Could this be the device's core? I steel myself and try pulling it all the way out.
これがカートリッジなのかな。ひとまず上に戻ろう。
I want to take a look at this thing with somewhere with some light. The three of us return to the second floor. It's a strange feeling. It was only half a year ago that I first spoke to AR Irie here. And now, the real Irie is standing right before me. Irie appears to be having some thoughts as she looks around the local hall.
アイリさんってこの島の出身だよね。
はい。
ここには来たことある？
いいえ。病気のせいもあって、いつも家に閉じこもっていましたから。私の家は西の表と中種の境ぐらいにあったんです。だから 島の南の方はほとんど来たことがありません。
I already looked into the house of where Airi Yukifune lived. Unfortunately, it's now an empty lot. Her house is gone. I still haven't found the right time to let her know. Earlier, when Airi said she wanted to go with me, I was afraid she'd ask us to take her to her house. I looked down at the circuit board in my hand. It really is just that. I don't know much about how these things are constructed, so I have no idea how it works. The electromagnetic wave irradiation device that Sawada gave me has a slot for something in its has a slot for something just this size. I put down the heavy knapsack slung over my shoulder and removed the device.
それが N4。
知ってるの？
ええ、名前だけは。見たのは初めてです。
A device that could show illusions to tens of thousands of people in Odaiba. If we can use this thing, we can totally change the tide of battle with Misane. I carefully aligned the circuit board with the slot entrance.
ぴったりですね。
刺してみる。
I pushed the circuit board with a bit of strength into the slot. It doesn't catch on anything, and once it's all the way inside, it clicks. Alright, it's compatible. I'm in luck.
これで使えるのかな?
Aside from the slot for the circuit board, there's no switch or button on the device itself. But I do have a little remote control that came with it in my knapsack. The simple controller, 2 square centimeters in size, with a single button on it. Pushing said button would likely turn the device on. Push it again to shut it off, I'm betting. Will that make people see illusions? Question is, illusions of what? And it's not just that. It's possible that there's another way of using it. I'll test it out when I get back to the airport.
それで
I put the device back in the knapsack and face Airi.
さっきのこと詳しく教えてくれないかな。ヒルンハンドっていうパスワードを知ってたこと、それと装置の電源を切る方法を知ってたことについてね。何か思い当たる？
Airi rubs her temples with her fingers, a confused expression on her face.
君島さんの声が聞こえたんです。
That's comforting.
東京の病院で一人でいたら君島さんの声が聞こえて、たくさんの映像を見せられました。それが本当の映像だったのか、頭の中だけの記憶だったのか、それは分かりません。誰の映した映像だったのかも分かりません。気づいた時には飛行機の中であなたたちと一緒でした。ヒドゥンハンドという言葉はその時に見せられた映像の中で誰かがつぶやいていて、さっきこの場所に来た時に初めてなのにまるで何度も来たような感じがしたんです。デジャブというものでしょうか。わかりません。
I don't think A.R. Airi's memories have been inherited by her. So those would just be ones and zeros anyway. So I want to believe that's not the case. Hell, that'd mean she remembers me giving her a kiss on the forehead through my phone droid screen on Christmas Eve. I'd die of embarrassment if she remembered that. This explains nothing. Gijine might know something about all this. I boot up Iro and survey the area with it, but there's no Gijine in sight. Where could she have gone off to?
アイリさんは調布空港でのことも覚えてないんだね。
はい。私、何か。
いや、気にしなくていいよ。
If I told her she tried to kill us and herself with a gun, it'd probably come as a massive shock. And maybe don't tell her that.
戻りましょう。長いは禁物です。
Airi and I both nod and exit the building. And then... They're not real! They're not real! It's fine, they're not real.
囲まれた。動けば撃ちます。
Oh, okay, they might be real. These might not be the big robots. That voice, Airi? But she's standing next to me, worriedly looking around with uncertainty. In that case...
ゲージねえか。
I raise my phone droid in the direction of the voice, the tower scaffolding. Yo, why you gotta be like that? Irie is there wearing her usual fluttery dress, the icon on her head glowing. This must be Gejine. Irie looks at my phone droid from the side and her eyes widen.
私もいる。繰り返します。動けば撃ちます。3秒とかからず、あなた方3名は死にます。カイト君、今すごくまずい状況です。
ああ、見ればわかるよ。
I never considered that Gejine would be part of the enemy's forces, but this might actually be convenient for me. This increases the probability that Gejine has the answers to my questions. He's pretty chill about being held at drone point.
私の肉眼でも見えてますよ。
That doesn't mean anything anymore.
肉眼でも見える幻を何十万人って人が目撃した。みんなまんまと騙された。それと同じだったりしてくれたらいいかって思ったりして。
But if that was the case, wouldn't Gejine also be visible to... Yeah, I think they're real. There's a bullet hole in a concrete wall.
本物です。
あ、そう。
Yeah, a little bit of wishful thinking. I didn't expect her to fire a warning shot, though. Gejine is more quick-witted than she used to be.
俺たちを取り囲んで何がしたいわけ？
あなたたちを排除せよというマスターのご命令です。
I gulp. I'm gonna get killed off like a bit character before I even get to square off with Misane? Give me a damn break.
だったら、なんで問題の名で撃ち殺さないんでしょう。
That is the question of the hour. Is there a reason she's keeping us alive like this? If there is, maybe I can work something out.
ゲジネに聞きたいことがある。
答えるつもりはありません。
That doesn't stop me from asking.
お台場の万博会場でスメラギが遠隔操縦されたことは知ってる？スメラギはスタンドアローンだった。ハッキングは有線以外じゃできないはずなのに。それについて知ってることない？
The Expo Rampage likely wasn't Misane's plan, but rather Kokimijima's plan as part of Project Atom. In that case, since Gejine is working under him, she should know something. In fact, seeing as Gejine is operating the drones, it's plenty possible that she also remotely operated Sumeragi.
教えてよ、ゲジネ。
君は勘違いをしているようだ。
Oh my god, this guy. I'm done with you. Be gone. It's him. Oh. Hi. Okay, could you not glitch around like that? Pick a spot. It's all his fault.
君はプロジェクトアトムのシナリオにおいて主役どころか名前すら与えられていない端役に過ぎないんだ。あまりこんな場所をうろつかずに速やかに退場してもらいたいんだよ。東京でもそう言っただろう。
If this man didn't exist, Misane wouldn't have to become our enemy.
ましてや僕の作ったものを勝手に持ち去ろうとするなんて。盗っ人たけだけしいとはこのことじゃないか。
Akio wouldn't have had to suffer, the Expo wouldn't have been ruined, and Model 2 would still exist.
僕のレポートを全部集めてわざわ
Yeah,
ざ
he's not even
世界
listening
中
to
に拡
Kimijima.
散してくれたことについて
Just
は
thinking about how much he
敬
hates
意を
him.
表するよ。ヤシオカイト君。だが君はただの使いっ走りでしかないと自覚しなければいけないな。
It's all his fault. I want to run up to him and punch him in the face right this second. I'm so angry. I'm so angry that I can't actually do that. I have no way to vent this anger. And if I moved right now, I'd be pumped full of holes. 10 drones are hovering above Nisan and myself, their guns trained on us as they make creepy fan noises.
ゲジネ、なぜさっさと処分しない？
That is the question of the hour, isn't it? I glance at Nisan, hoping she has some kind of plan, but even she seems to be at her wit's end. Her eyes are darting around. She's biting on her lip, unable to move. Neither me nor Nisan can find a way out of this. Is it hopeless? Is this the end? Without even noticing my panic,
Kimijima-san.
Irie calls out to the mastermind, a stern expression on her face. Well, more accurately, she calls out to the Ko-Kimijima on my phone droid screen.
君島さんは死んでいるんですか?
I was ready for this to be the end, but Gejine still doesn't open fire. Wait, does Irie not know that Ko-Kimijima is dead? Did nobody tell her after she woke up from cold sleep?
君島公は死んでる。10年近く前だ。
そう。確かに僕は死んだよ。殺されたんだ。でも、おかげでこうして永遠の命を手に入れられた。もっとも、それもあと数日で終わりだろうけれどね。僕が立案し実行したプロジェクトアトムによって消滅するんだ。宇宙から飛来する熱と電磁波の嵐。それは50億人に死をもたらすものであり、ネットワーク上に存在している僕もまたその嵐によって破壊されるだろ
う。It's insane.
どうして破壊されることを望むんですか？
なんだって？
死に希望を持っているから、実験の成功が嬉しいから、生きたいと思わないから。ほら、
Fair questions.
また病院で再会した時もそうでした。私が眠りにつく前の君島さんと今の君島さんは違う気がします。今は君島さんの心がどこにも感じられないんです。
His heart? The mastermind behind everything, Ko-Kimijima. When I spoke to him at Chofu, his view of the world was abnormal. Nothing like the average person. I couldn't understand him. I couldn't think of him as a fellow human. My impression of him was a man with a broken mind, a man who lacked the common sense of a human. Is she saying that he wasn't always like this? Even before death, he experimented with the lives of everyone aboard the MF Anemone, me, Akio, and many others. If Misune hadn't stopped him, everyone aboard would have probably be dead. How could the man behind that have a heart?
君島さんは10年前も壊れた人でしたよね。実験のことしか考えてなかったですし。でも優しかった。君島さんの心からそれが感じられました。
君のことはいい実験台だとしか見ていなかったんだけどね。
どう見ているかは関係なくて、私を眠らせてほしいってお願いしたとき、あなたはかなり長い間迷っていましたよね。
実験内容についてじっくり検討していたんだよ。残念ながらね。
でも迷ってくれた。なのに今の君島さんは目的があってもそこに資料も思想もない。
But, eh? A reason for executing Project Atom. It's true that it's still unclear as to why Ko-Kimijima would do something like massacre 5 billion people.
君島さんはどうして実験を成功させたいんですか？
What's that sound?
なぜ実験を成功させたいかって？それはね、実験を成功させたいからだよ。例えば実験の内容が50億人を虐殺するものでも一輪の花を咲かせるものでも僕にとっては同じなんだ。
それってつまりあんたはただのプログラムだってことじゃないか。
かもしれないね。僕は死の直前に仮移植していた不完全なアルファ版のデータでのみ構成されている そう言っただろう。君島光という人間を完全再現するにはデータ不足だったのかもしれない。もっともだから何か不都合があるのかといえば特にないけれどね。今の僕は人間としては欠陥品かもしれない。ただこの実験を遂行する分にはほぼ完璧に近い。実験を成功させる、それが君島公の目的であったことは揺るぎない。今さらそこに思想など不要だよ。
Kokimijima possessing Misane is a flawed product, eh? Like hell we can just let this thing do as it pleases. I mean, by that logic, he's not Gejine's master, so maybe she doesn't have to follow his instructions. However, I haven't been able to stop sweating. The guns are still trained on us.
ちなみに
Just then, Kokimijima's figure vanishes. It's instantaneous, like he was never there to begin with. Where did he go? Gejine still doesn't move. I look around, but Kokimijima is...
君の両親は
Oh,
とっくに死んだ。
can you not? Shit. He's trying to possess Irie again.
やめろ。
But my voice reaches neither Irie nor Kokimijima. Crap.
知ってい
Oh,
たか。
Jesus.
君は両親にとって負担だった。
Don't do
早く死ん
this.
でくれないかと思っていた。
Oh, you're awful.
父親が逃げ出したのはもちろん君のせいだよ。当時僕は君の両親と懇意にしていてね、いろいろ聞かせてもらったんだ。愛理にはうんざりだとそう言っていたよ。
Oh, I hate that he's like whispering
だから
in
島
the
から
ear.
出て
Ugh.
自由を取り戻せばいいと言ってあげたんだ。そうしたら君の父親は僕に何て言ったと思う？ありがとうだってさ。まるでつきものが落ちたような顔で僕に握手を求めてきたよ。君という面倒な娘から解放されてよっぽど嬉しかったんだろうね。だから鹿児島の山奥で殺してあげたんだ。今も君の父親は寒い山奥で白骨死体のまま眠っているはずだよ。警察にも見つかっていないからね。君がコールドスリープで眠っている10年の間に君の父親はその体を獣に食い散らかされて
Oh,
腐り落ちて
dude,
骨
you
だけになっ
suck.
ていったわけだ。
Ugh.
よかったね。君を見捨てた父親が死んで。もっとも君は父親のことはそんなに好きじゃなかったね。だったら彼がどうなっても別にどうでもいいか。むしろ君は母親のことが大好きだったよね。何しろ父親がいなくなってからも女手一つで君を育ててくれたんだからね。だから君はそんな大好きな母親が自分のせいで病んでいくのが耐えられなかったんだろう。解放してあげたかったんだろう。雪船愛理っていう重荷から。だから君はわざわざ僕に頼み込んで長い眠りにつくことを選んだわけだ。すべては母親のため。自分がいなくなれば母親は楽になってくれる。まったくいじらしくて素敵な娘さんだ。でも残念だったね。君のお母さんは君が眠った後反響欄で島中を駆けずり回ったんだ。もちろん君を探してね。僕も聞かれたよ。娘を見なかったかと。だから僕は答えたんだ。君の選択を尊重するために知らないと。誰も君の母親の相手をしなかったよ。みんな彼女がおかしくなってしまったことを知っていたからね。 でも母親はそれこそ取りつかれたように森を裸足でさまよい歩き続けたんだ。あんまりかわいそうだったから僕は助言してあげたんだ。曲島で見かけたと漁師の人が言っていたと。もちろん真っ赤な嘘なんだけど、君の母親はありがとうありがとうと言って、でもみんな彼女が曲島へ行くことを反対したんだ。あの島には誰もいないと、悪いことは言わないからおやめなさいと。誰も船を出してあげようとしなくてね。だから彼女は曲島まで泳いで行ったよ。本当に滑稽だった。母親の執念というのはすごいね。
Jesus Christ.
でもさすがにそこまでで限界だった。さすがにあの距離は泳ぎきれないよ。君の母親は魚の餌になった。骨は海の底に沈んだか、あるいは海流に流されて今頃は太平洋の方まで行っているかもしれないね。どんな気持ちだっただろうね。溺れて死んだのかな。だとしたら苦しかったろう。サメにでも食われたのかもしれない。だとしたら生きたまま食われるわけでかなり痛いだろうね。誰も君のお母さんの行方は知らない。誰もね。そうそう、君の住んでいた家は君のお父さんの親族が売り払って更地にしてしまったよ。さっさと家族3人の死亡届を出して保険金を受け取ったそうだ。だから君が10年ぶりに生きて現れたことにはひどく不満だったらしいよ。いっそ殺せと病院の医師にお金を渡したぐらいだし。君どうして目覚めちゃったの？ずっと寝ていればよかったのに。
Nice. Irie's acting odd. I could barely make out what Kokimijima was saying, but I know for a fact that he's destroying Irie's heart. Her eyes are wide open and spasming out of control. The tears endlessly fall from both eyes, her face blue. Her entire body is trembling as she continues to sob voicelessly. Just watching her like this is making my heart ache. This isn't good. At this rate, we'll be repeating the incident at Chofu Airport. But with all these guns pointed at us, neither Nai-san nor I can move a muscle. I never should have brought Irie here. Gejine continues to watch us from atop the tower, unchanged. As long as Gejine remains under Kokimijima's control, I doubt she'll listen to anything we have to say. I can't come up with a way to simultaneously destroy all 10 drones locked on us. Oh, I have a score to settle with Misane. I can't just die here. But I also can't leave Irie behind either, which means this is war. It takes about 2 giant steps from where I'm standing to reach Irie. That should be enough. I won't let Kokimijima have his way. I turn toward Irie. I lean forward and focus all my strength into my feet. This time, I'm able to hear Kokimijima's voice loud and clear. The drone's gun muzzles are already aimed squarely at me. I won't make it. I'm gonna be turned into Swiss cheese before I can take 2 steps. But just as I lift my toes off the ground to take off, Gejine begins to utter nonsense. The first step. Simultaneously, the sound of gunfire rings out. The second step. My hand grabs Irie's wrist. Got her. I forcefully pull her trembling body into my arms. The tenseness leaves her body. Heck, I got away untouched too. There are no bullet holes anywhere on my body. It's then that a violent gust of air and heat blows past me. Did they shoot each other? The drones shot each other. The 10 drones that were hovering about all explode, one after the other.
同士討ち、互いを撃ち合うなんてどうして？ゲジ姉の指示、助けてくれたの？
マスターを裏切るのか、ゲジネ。勝手な真似をしてくれるじゃないか。これは深刻なエラーだね。バグは消去しよ
う。What? Wait, no!
ゲジネ。
Oh no! Come on! I instinctively hold my phone droid back up to watch Gejine through the screen. Gejine herself remains unchanged. In fact, she's standing there, emotionless as usual. But the icon on her forehead is flashing violently. It almost looks like she's breathing her last breath. Still in my arms, Irie reaches her hand out toward my phone droid's screen. Irie touches the monitor. She lovingly runs her hand across Gejine through this monitor. Gejine is no longer able to speak coherently. Koki Mijima must be trying to delete her data. She could disappear at any moment. If Frau was here, would she have been able to do something about this? No, I get the feeling this would be too much even for her. Even though it takes time to create data, deleting it only takes a few seconds. I've moved my phone droid closer to Irie. Irie's fingers touch the icon on Gejine's forehead. It flashes even more violently than before. Gejine's mouth moves as if to respond, but her voice is already gone. Even then, she still attempts to communicate something. In an effort not to miss her last words, Irie holds her ear against the phone droid. Just then, the phone droid releases a blast of noise, much like it would after short-circuiting. Irie jolts back in surprise. That's it. For just a moment, the Uro screen is filled with noise. And Gejine is gone. No matter where I point the phone droid, she's nowhere to be found. Naisan breathes a sigh of relief while looking down at the drone remains. Irie clings tightly to my chest. She's doing her best to hold back. Irie is crying without making a sound. My first thought is that Koki Mijima said something to her. No, I was certain that was the case. I figured he must have said something heartbreaking to her. I assumed she was in pain, sad, and angry. But I immediately realize that's not what these tears are. Gejine had been watching over AR Irie this entire time. She had done so in the same body, as an alternate personality. Perhaps for Gejine, both AR Irie and Irie were one and the same. The half that must be protected. The half that must be loved. Even more so than the very master that created her. Gejine chose to protect the reflection of herself that she had spent the most time with. Wow, that hit me really hard. This is hitting me really hard for some reason. I don't know how she rebelled against her own programming. Was it really just a bug? Or was there something else at play? I guess it doesn't matter. Either way, Gejine saved the three of us. That's the only truth that matters right now. Oops. I hit the thing. When I check in with Frau, she's furiously typing away at the keyboard. Let's check tweets. She's leaning into the monitor, quietly ranting to herself.
これ使えとか、マジ何様なんあいつ。ああ、平壁。つうか、上から目線の大人は死ね。
もしかして沢田のこと？
そいつ。君島子をやっつけるために指定のアプリ使えって送りつけてくるとか意味不すぎ。ちょっと人が引きこもりだからって下に見やがって絶対に許さない。
By the way, I was the one who first received the request from Sawada, which I then deferred to Frau.
その指定のアプリって？
イルオとほぼそっくりなアプリらしい。要するにパクリ。クソ長いアプリ名だし何なの？
クソ長いね。なんて名前？
Frau brings her face close to the screen and reads it out loud.
DG297 サードエディションバージョン 4.11。
確かに長い。
まあ、私の脳内妄想ではすでに触
Hold on! I think I know who made that. I think I know who made that. That's great. Some things never change. That's great.
ザキュンはガチムチな島の男たちの手でボロ雑巾のようにされちゃってるがな。
Okay.
それは吐血物ですね。だがそれがいい。
え？
ガタ！
Jinkies. After bearing witness to Irie's interjection, it feels like time slows to a crawl. Not the usual way either. Irie looks clueless about what she just said.
そうですか。3次元のアリタンも腐っておりましたか。
Oh my god, stop. Frau nods to herself as if she's deeply moved, then forces a handshake with Irie.
心の友よ。よくぞ帰ってきてくれました。つうか、2次元キャラが3次元に実体化とか、ボタの1000年の夢がついに叶ったわけだが。飯食ってる場合じゃねえ。映画化決定だろマジで。
But nobody's eating anything.
というわけで趣味も合ってるんでアイリタンは私が買う。
ペットじゃない。
アイリタン、元気くんと頑張れるのカプなら元気くんが攻めっしょ。
いいえ、頑張れるが攻めだと思います。
なんだと。趣味合わないんで買うのやめます。
いい加減にしなって。何話してるか全然わからないし。
I pull on both of Frau's pigtails.
オフ、痛いです。いいぞ、もっとやれ。
Why did I know she was going to say something like that? Frau's antics aside, I definitely saw a little bit of Gejine in Irie's comments. Maybe some of AR Irie's memories did get carried over to her. Judging by how clueless she looks, she must be speaking instinctively without really understanding her words. This poor kid's really been messed up at this point. But right now, none of that matters.
で、話は戻るけど、その DG なんとかって長ったらしい名前のアプリがイルオとほぼそっくりってどういうこと？
連絡ついでに イルオは信用できないって沢田急に話したら、これ使えってドヤ顔で送ってきたけん。
それ使えそう？
まだ調べてないからわかんねえ。でも使えそうなら全員のポケコンからイルオを削除してこっちの DG297 を入れ直してもらうかも。
キルバラシステムにも組み込めるかもね。
試してみるわ。で、本題は例の URL。
そういうこと。何か分かった？
これからアクセスしたる。
Long story short, I asked Frau to look into the final piece of that info that Gejine left Irie, a URL of some kind. Said URL was super long, and it came with a password consisting of random numbers and letters. Amazingly, Irie somehow managed to memorize the entire thing instantly. She opens up the URL.
うお、出た。これエグスケ社のクラウドじゃね？
クラウドだって？あそこはクラウドはやってないって散々記者会見してたじゃないか。
でも間違いないっぽい。
Shocker.
この機体 ID は何ぞ？
Frau pulls up a scanned document with confidential stamp on it, from out of nowhere, and displays it.
何それ？
これまでに製造されたハグの機体 ID 一覧。
なんでそんなのコナちゃんが持ってるわけ？
私っつうかネット上のとあるアングラサイトに普通に落ちてるけん。ネットにはタブーはないのだ。キリ！でも。
Frau skims through the list and tilts her head.
クラウドに出てる ID は HUGX が頭についてるわけだが、既存のハグで X シリーズなんて売られてないぽ。
また HUGX はスメラギとカミナギのコードネームだ。
おお。
Of course, they're concept models, so their IDs differ from what's currently being used.
ね、つまりスメラギもカミナギもスタンドアローンじゃなくてオンラインで繋がってたってこと？
Why did Sawada lie?
つうかこれクラウドっつってもかなり限定的。やり取りできるデータはイルオの情報だけっぽい。スメラギの資料と。
Frau opens the digital Sumeragi data that I sent to her phone droid. She proceeds to read through it.
見つけた。イルオをコックピットのモニターに表示させる機能があるを。幸せ 4U とタイアップして使えるようにしたっぽい。
Iruo is an app that Kokimijima created. This is no coincidence. This is obviously part of the plan.
君島公がスメラギを操縦できるようにするためにクラウドを使ったってことかな。
エグスケ社がクラウドを使わないって言ってたのもブラフ？
沢田すら知らなかったんだから、このことを知ってるのはミサネや君島公を含む一部の人間だけだったのかも。そもそも去年のロボラトリーインダストリーのロボット反乱事件だって結局犯人のマグヤンが行方不明のまま迷宮入りでしょ。あれが君島公によるリハーサルだったなら説明がつく。
キルバラの死んでたチーターたちのことも。
Exactly. How dare he make a mockery out of fighting game players by messing with the leaderboards for this crap?
とにかくアイリスさん、
Priorities.
お手柄だよ。
Irie, who had been quietly observing until now, wears an uneasy smile.
私には何が何だかさっぱりわからなかったんですが、もしお役に立てたならそれはゲジ姉さんのおかげです。
This is info that Gejine gave her life to pass on to us. We can't let that sacrifice be for nothing.
これウイルス流し込んだらスメラギを無効化できない？
できるかも。明日までに間に合うかわからんけど、私より沢田君には渡すべきじゃね。
If we run the anti-Kokimijima software through this server, we might see an immediate effect.
コナちゃん、この情報沢田に伝えて。
When we first got back to Tanegashima, we were at a huge disadvantage. But now our chess pieces are slowly coming together. Oh boy. The command center inside the central command tower has overseen countless rocket launches. It's the heart of the TNSC. This is where the main staff gathers to analyze conditions and ultimately make the no-go decision for launch. I sit on one of those chairs and stare blankly at the small toy. Think. I took it from Dad's office. Considering I'm the one who made it, I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I took it without asking. It's already been 30 hours since we occupied the TNSC. The BHB should be loaded and ready to go. Losing the priests hurts. Priests hurts? But the 5 staff members I brought for the launch are here, no problem. We invaded with a low head count so we could prevent info about targeting this island from leaking until the end. The more people involved, the higher the risk of info getting out. Kokimijima hated leaks. He even kept the info secret from the Committee of 300, his masters, and the Tavistock Institute until the very end. It's working out so far.
Viper, こちらウィザード1。作業完了した。
I fight off my listlessness and stand up. The preparations are complete. Today, the project will be completed.
こちらはイバン、了解した。リミットはあと半日か。秋、海、間に合って。
And put an end to me.
そういうわけにはいかないよ。
Someone's presence emerges behind me.
君には彼らイレギュラーを排除してもらわないと。全力でね。それが君の最後の仕事だ。それが終わったら解放してあげるよ。この9年、よく働いてくれたね。
その時には50億人が死んでいるわ。
結構なことじゃないか。
He's getting inside of me. His presence is eating up my body. He's sullying my body and spirit. My fingers and arms stop moving. His will is consuming my consciousness. Feels as if dark, sticky coal tar is being fed into my bloodstream. Like parasites are eating away at the flesh beneath my skin. Ugh. It's that imagery, though. Like a heated steel pipe is being jammed into the center of my brain. Like a giant snake is wrapping around and strangling me. It's disappearing. Whatever was left of Misaki Sunomiya. She's being infected and erased. This curse is constraining me. Aki. Kai. Oh. I exit outside. The wind is still strong and moist. But the clouds in the sky are moving along. Through their gaps, I get a peek at the night sky beyond.
各員、聞こえているか？第1回、GO、ノー GO 判断。天候判断は GO。VAB 開放。射程への移動を開始して。
The largest door in the world is slowly opening. And from its darkness appears a pitch-black rocket. The Devil's Spear made with the distinct purpose of turning Earth into a blazing hell. And soon, this object of destruction will be launched from the most beautiful launch site on the planet. Ugh. Alright, I need to take a break. Continue this tomorrow. I'm emotionally drained. Bye.